Public service workers expected to receive wage hikes before the end of 2021. 3 persons were killed in 2 separate accidents over the weekend. Over 84,000 doses of ASTRAZENECA vaccine arrived from the United Kingdom. In the region, Peru protesters rally against Pedro Castillo's new government, and internationally, China races to contain Delta variant as COVID outbreak spreads. Greetings and welcome to another edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. At a press conference on Monday, the President of Guyana, Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, stated that public workers would get wage hikes before the end of 2021.
And let me assure you first of all, though, before I continue, that the public servants will receive salary increases before the end of the year, and it will be retroactive. So let me be clear on that. They will receive salary increases and it will be retroactive.
The president noted that it is not his government's vision for the discussion to only be about salary increases. He said the government is actively looking at mechanisms that will allow all public servants to live improved lives.
We are looking at the mechanism that would allow every public servant to own their own home. They also benefit from the COVID, the help with the COVID cash grant. But we want to empower public servants so that their children too can benefit from the scholarship program, many of whom are already benefiting. The public servants themselves are benefiting. And we are happy about this. So let us not limit the discourse only to the tax waivers and tax break and tax reversals of VAT. All of us benefits, including the public servants. So it's a holistic approach to the improvement of life and livelihood. It is not a narrow window of only salaries. It is that holistic approach that is necessary.
3 persons were killed in 2 separate accidents over the weekend. More from Esther Sobers.
Police are investigating a fatal accident which occurred on Sunday evening at Erie Hall Public Road, Essequibo, which claimed the life of 2 men on a motorcycle. Dead are 23-year-old police officer Romesh Das and a 22-year-old pillion rider Abdul Shamain, both of Essequibo. Investigation revealed that the motor car driven by Mahindra Raj was proceeding south on the public road when the motorcycle driven by Das was heading north on the said road, swerved eastward, colliding with the car. Romesh Das and his pillion rider Abdul Shamain were picked up in an unconscious state by public-spirited citizens and rushed to the Saudi Public Hospital, where they were pronounced dead. The bodies are at a funeral home awaiting post-mortem examination. The driver of the motor car remains in custody, assisting with developing investigation. Also, police are investigating another accident involving a New Amsterdam man killed early Monday morning after the car he was driving ended up in a trench. Dead is Joshua Butts, 21, of Stanley Town, New Amsterdam. Police stated that Butts was driving motor car PTT 7891 when he swerved off the road and into the trench. Police said he reportedly lost control of the car. He was taken out of the car by public-spirited citizens and taken to the New Amsterdam Public Hospital, where he died while receiving treatment for his injuries. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. President Dr. Irfan Ali announced on Monday that in addition to a negative PCR test, foreigners traveling to Guyana will have to show proof of vaccination. He said Guyana and other Caribbean countries will be implementing the new travel requirements to help safely boost intra-regional travel and the regional tourism sector. According to Public Works Minister Juan Edgil, who has the obligation for aviation sector, said the new measures will become effective from Sunday, August 8, 2021. The minister said the government is taking, quote, further action to ensure safety for both visitors to Guyana and our local population by requiring that foreign travelers are vaccinated, end of quote. Travelers will be required to have at least 1 dose of a vaccine and produce a negative PCR COVID-19 COVID-19 test taken within 72 hours of travel into the country. The minister said, quote, "The government of Guyana remains committed to achieving herd immunity here in Guyana and will work assiduously to protect the health and well-being of all Guyanese," end of quote. To date, Guyana has recorded 547 deaths from the deadly pandemic, with the latest being a 30-year-old female from Region 4 who died while receiving treatment at a medical facility. The total number of confirmed cases now stands at 22,619. Don't go way after the break. Man drowns during outing with friends at Bucktown Creek, and hairdresser accused of simple larceny at a wedding house.
Survival Shopping Complex brings to you its delivery service, Shop through WhatsApp. This process is simple. All you need to do is call or message your grocery list to 613-9683 and we will select your items for you and have them delivered directly to you, even out of town. This is convenient because we can stay on the phone with you as we select your favorite brands. We're happy to do your shopping for you. Contact us on WhatsApp today and shop price smart at Survival Shopping Complex.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Tastes so good. It's gotta be made with Alabama Baker wheat flour. Produced from quality soft winter wheat and quality enzymes to give a superior product that's guaranteed to be luscious, delightful to taste, and stays fresher longer. Alabama Baker wheat flour is perfect for breads, roti, puri, pastries, chow mein, pastas, and many other delights. Imported and distributed by Alabama Trading. 6566 Robb Street, Borda, and 23 Lombard Street. Telephone 225-5800.
Welcome to CASTILLO'S Furniture. Find everything you need for your home and more under one roof in our newly decorated showroom. Our locally crafted furniture has been perfected over the last 60 years. From our hands to your home, we also bring to you our newly introduced lines of imported furniture and sleep center, where you can find a wide range of beds and mattresses. CASTILLO'S Furniture, furnishing homes for over 60 years.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road, Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. On Monday, Guyana's COVID-19 vaccination campaign was boosted with the arrival of 84,800 doses of the ASTRAZENECA vaccine from the United Kingdom. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony and United Kingdom High Commissioner Jane Miller were at the Chedijagan International Airport to receive the vaccines. Dr. Anthony said the government is grateful for the donation. Quote, "This, of course, would help us to further our vaccination program, and we have been aggressively trying to get the vaccines rolling out this program. So this would certainly complement what we're doing. We are extremely grateful for this donation." End of quote. Dr. Anthony highlighted that through the support system from British government and other international partners, Ghana was able to obtain vaccines. He said the aim is to have at least 85% of the country's adult population vaccinated against the deadly disease. Meanwhile, the High Commissioner said the United Kingdom is proud to donate to the people of Guyana.
Huge pleasure that we donate 84,800 doses of the ASTRAZENECA COVID-19 vaccine. We know the COVID vaccine, it saves lives, and so the UK is very proud to be making this donation here today. The UK has been aggressively working on managing the COVID-19 epidemic. We've already donated £1.3 million across the world to mitigate the impact of the virus across the world, and donated £545 million to the COVAX initiative for scaling up vaccine across the world.
The 84,800 doses of AstraZeneca vaccines Guyana received is part of the first batch of the 100 million doses the United Kingdom pledged to donate to the poorest parts of the world. Minister Anthony said with over 100 fixed vaccination sites and several mobile units available, the ministry is encouraging the public to get vaccinated so the nation can soon reach herd immunity.
We have to be cautious, and unless people get vaccinated, and not just with one dose, you have to get both doses of your vaccine, you have to be fully vaccinated, then it becomes really protective. So we want to encourage people to make sure that they get vaccinated because this is the only way you can protect yourself. And it's a simple message. Go out there and get vaccinated. So far, we only have about half of our population who would have taken the first dose. And about 28% or so who would have taken the second dose. So we still have a far way to go to get to herd immunity. We are pegging herd immunity around 85% of our population, and we are very far away from that.
What should have been a fun get-together with friends at Bucktown Creek in the Linden area ended tragically with one man drowning. Esther Sobers has more on that tragic incident.
On Monday afternoon, a 23-year-old employee of both sides lost his life following an outing at the Bucktown Creek Christiansburg, Linden. Dead is Stephen Wayne Major of self-help scheme Amelia's Ward, Linden. Inquiries disclosed Major in the company of friends went to Bucktown to hang out and swim. They began consuming alcohol as soon as they arrived, after which they went into the water. The deceased went around the Coker area. He appeared to be doing stunts by throwing himself in the water and raising up as if he was plunging into the water and raising back up. According to eyewitnesses, after some time the man became submerged for about 2 minutes. He subsequently resurfaced a little distance away from the Coker front. A man nearby attempted to save him but was unable due to the high water current in the location. 5 other males who were present went into the water, retrieved the man, and brought him to shore in an unconscious state. CPR was conducted on Major, but he failed to regain consciousness. He was rushed to the Linden Hospital complex where he was officially pronounced dead. The police were notified and went to the hospital where investigators inspected the body for signs of violence, but none were found. The body is currently awaiting a post-mortem examination. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Police are investigating the simple larceny allegedly committed by a hairdresser and 2 others. Personal items belonging to several victims who were attending a wedding went missing. Here again is Esther Sobers.
Police are investigating simple larceny committed on Sunday, August 1st by a 27-year-old hairdresser and a 28-year-old assistant and a 33-year-old taxi driver after personal items belonging to several persons at a wedding house in Crane, West Coast, Demerara went missing. According to the police investigation, the 6 victims, including foreigners, were all relatives attending a wedding celebration at the LA Union House where they were staying. Their personal belongings were in different rooms. The female hairdresser and her assistant were hired to do hair and makeup for the wedding attendees. During the celebration around 3 p.m., the victims and other family members went to the groom's residence at Stroudsville, West Coast, Demerara. The victims returned home around 4:30 p.m. About 20 minutes later, the suspects left the residence. However, at about 6 p.m. hours, the victims went to their rooms where they observed their belongings missing. The items and cash missing amounted to over $700 $5,000. The two suspects and a male taxi driver who transported them were invited back to the home, where they were all arrested and placed into custody. Investigations are ongoing. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Don't go away after the break. Peru protesters rally against Pedro Castillo's new government, and U.S. COVID hospitalizations surge as Delta variant spreads. But before that, here is the break retraction schedule.
Problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip. If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome to Kissoon's Furniture. Find everything you need for your home and more under one roof in our newly decorated showroom. Our locally crafted furniture has been perfected over the last 60 years. From our hands to your home, we also bring to you our newly introduced lines of imported furniture and sleep center, where you can find a wide range of beds and mattresses. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 60 years.
For decades, milk has remained the same. Until now. Introducing the Great Dairy Full Cream Milk from Alabama Trading. Enriched with vitamins A to D and calcium to promote healthy teeth, strong bones, and vitality. Great Dairy Milk is delicious and fortified to encourage healthy cell growth within the body. No wonder it's the #1 brand of milk produced in Ireland. Now available nationwide in 400-gram packages at leading supermarkets and wholesale vendors. Distributed by Alabama Trading.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 4-6 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Survival Shopping Complex brings to you its delivery service, Shop Through WhatsApp. This process is simple. All you need to do is call or message your grocery list to 613-9683 and we will select your items for you and have them delivered directly to you, even out of town. This is convenient because we can stay on the phone with you as we select your favorite brands. We're happy to do your shopping for you. Contact us on WhatsApp today and shop Price Smart at Survival Shopping Complex.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news in the region and around the world. Hundreds of Peruvians have rallied against left-wing President Pedro Castillo days after he appointed a headliner and a Marxist as his prime minister. Al Jazeera's Mariana Sanchez reports.
It's only 3 days into his presidency, and Pedro Castillo is already facing protests, angry at his choice of prime minister.
Criminal terrorists want to rule the country. It's not fair there's a terrorist as prime minister. That's why we're protesting.
We will not allow terrorists to take over our country.
Guido Bellido is being investigated for an alleged apology for terrorism, which is a crime in Peru. In an interview earlier this year, he defended members of the Shining Path, the Maoist rebel group that killed tens of thousands of people from the 1980s onwards. Castillo's choice of Bellido for prime minister or cabinet chief, as it's known in Peru, sent shockwaves around the country. The stock market dropped, along with the value of Peru's currency against the dollar. Critics also say other new ministers have no experience in government.
We can't say it's a lack of intelligence, experience, or that he's never governed and that's why he's making all these mistakes. No, I think there is much more to it, because the president signaled his divisiveness, and all Peruvians will bear the brunt of his irresponsibility.
Well, many people here say they didn't vote for Castillo, but many who did are expressing their anger through social media, saying they voted for him to rule for the people and not for the political party he represents.
So far, President Castillo has also visited victims of an earthquake in the north of the country, telling supporters he'll focus on those left behind.
There are people who have been left behind for a very long time. We can't do much if we don't prioritise our health care. We will give mayors and regional governors a better budget.
Many Peruvians want Castillo to deliver the changes he promised during his election campaign, but it'll be hard for them to trust a president who they say has been making mistakes from day one. Mariana Sanchez, Al Jazeera, Lima, Peru.
Internationally, officials in the United States says the Delta variant of COVID-19 is spreading like wildfire. In the past 2 weeks, cases increased dramatically, with hospitalizations in some states reaching record level. Al Jazeera's Andy Galichar reports.
As the number of COVID-19 cases surpasses 35 million in the US, the Delta variant continues to be the dominant, more contagious strain of an already deadly virus. Hospitals in states like Nevada, Mississippi and Arkansas are surging as mostly unvaccinated patients infected with the Delta variant seek treatment. With the push to get more people vaccinated increasing in urgency, there's a renewed effort to treat the vulnerable.
Have you had COVID before?
No, God no. Good. That's why you think I've been staying in this house.
For the housebound or those too afraid to go outside, programs like this are a potential lifesaver.
Forget all the stupidity, all the anti-vaxxers and all that. I don't know where they get their information, but it's completely wrong. So I knew a lot of nurses and in my family and stuff and everything, so and people have died, so yeah, it's just the way it works.
In Florida, which saw its highest number of daily cases on record last week, testing sites are once again seeing long lines. This state now accounts for 1 in 5 new COVID cases, with hospitalizations hitting a new high. According to the Department of Health and Human Services, more than 10,000 people are currently being treated here, many of them younger than seen before. Despite those staggering numbers, the state's governor is refusing to mandate mask orders or allow local officials to put restrictions in place to prevent the spread of COVID-19.
There will be no restrictions and no mandates in the state of Florida. Floridians have been, are, and will remain free to choose what's best for themselves and their families.
In stark contrast, officials in San Francisco announced a new mask mandate regardless of vaccination status. Louisiana too has reinstated its mask mandate effective from Wednesday. But despite the dire warnings, large events are still being held across the US. Officials say another round of tight restrictions is unlikely, but with only around half the adult population fully vaccinated, the calls to increase that number are growing.
While vaccinated people can spread the virus if they get a breakthrough infection, the odds of them getting sick in the first place are far lower than those who are unvaccinated. And in fact, places with more vaccination generally have less disease.
Over the past 3 weeks, the pace of vaccinations has steadily risen, particularly in mostly southern states that were lagging. For many, this latest surge is a tipping point and a realization that vaccines are the only way to beat the virus. Andy Gallagher, Al Jazeera, Miami, Florida.
And finally, provinces across China have imposed tougher restrictions in an effort to contain the country's worst coronavirus outbreak in months, with health officials attributing the surge in COVID-19 infections to the highly contagious Delta variant. Al Jazeera's Katrina Yu reports.
The highly infectious Delta variant has broken through China's strict COVID-19 defenses. Closed borders, strict lockdowns and mass testing have not been enough to prevent the country's worst outbreak in months. Hundreds of cases have been found in more than 30 cities in 16 provinces. China's leaders say the capital Beijing must be protected at all costs. Several neighborhoods are under lockdown after infections were discovered last week. Flights, trains and buses from affected areas have been suspended. Residents have been warned not to leave the city. 2-week quarantines have been imposed. Large-scale events have been cancelled and public venues ordered to limit capacity. Contact tracing teams have been mobilized.
Confirmed close or secondary contacts will be quarantined. Those who live and work with them will be banned from joining any gatherings and also subject to closed-loop management by their workplaces or local community.
The outbreak originated early last month in the southern city of Nanjing. Airport janitors tested positive after cleaning a flight which arrived from Russia. The city's more than 9 million residents underwent 3 rounds of testing in 2 weeks. Authorities have identified a possible super-spreader event in the tourist hotspot of Zhangjiajie, where several cases were linked to a theatre performance attended by 2,000 people. The attraction has been shut down and tourists told to stay away.
Up until July, much of China had reported 0 coronavirus cases. The apparent success had been a source of national pride. But this latest flare-up of the Delta variant has thrown into question Beijing's COVID-19 strategy and put more pressure on the nation's vaccine rollout.
China's current strategy of zero tolerance should improve. We must learn to coexist with the coronavirus. We need to accept that it's impossible to be completely free of the virus for a long period of time.
Health officials say more than 1.6 billion vaccines have been administered so far, but they've warned being vaccinated may not be enough to avoid catching the Delta strain. The government has begun vaccinating children and is considering offering booster shots to vulnerable groups. The outbreak threatens China's economic recovery and its ability to host spectators during the 2022 Winter Olympic Games. Last year, President Xi Jinping declared victory over COVID-19, a declaration, it seems, that was premature. Katrina Yu, Al Jazeera, Beijing.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. All for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. Tune in on Wednesday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, stay safe and take care.